Hello, this is Carrie Hall, CEO and lead designer of A1ID Consultants. Today I'm going to describe to you SWOS, the Instructional Design Plan for SWOSDOC. Instructional design is a science that applies learning and instructional theories to the planning process of the development of instructional materials for education and training. A1ID Consultants applies the Dick and Carey model to the development and planning of instructional materials for education and training. The Dick and Carey model, also known as the Instructional Systems Design, ISD, is a systematic approach to the development of instructional materials that is based on learning and instructional theories, and it is the basis for A1ID Consultants. There are 5 fundamental foundations of instructional design that are implemented in ISD, and they consist of analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. A1ID Consultants integrates the scientifically proven ISD model to the design process. ISD has a strict process flow, however, it can consist of a modified or concurrent process in order to meet the needs of the client and/or learner. A1ID Consultants implements this outcome-based approach to ensure that learning goals and objectives are clearly identified and met. A1ID Consultants conducted a needs assessment and have identified the instructional problem as an anticipated need. The identification of changes that will occur in the future are anticipated needs. The anticipated need was identified due to the fact that SWOSDOC has requested a user-friendly prototype hypermedia training system that presents the shipboard systems matrix. This will be an instructional change for ensigns. The SWOSDOC requires ensigns to pass the SWOSDOC threat matrix assessment before they can graduate from the SWOSDOC. Currently, to study for the TM assessment, the ensigns can individually make their own flashcards or index cards, and then they memorize the plethora of information from the shipboard systems matrix. The integration of the hypermedia training system is a perceived change that is different from the current ensign's way of studying for the TM assessment. Therefore, the needs assessment found the instructional problem as an anticipated need. The things that we know about the ensigns for the current learner's situation are that the ensigns are roughly 23 years of age with a high educational background. All are college graduates with high reading and cognitive skills. They are naval officers that are in their first years in the Navy as officers. The target group is most likely homogeneous and consists of upper socioeconomic status. The length of time for the SWOSDOC program is 9 months, both on-site and aboard ship. The following are assumptions made by A1ID Consultants. Ensigns have a positive attitude about SWOSDOC. They are generally motivated to learn the necessary course materials, and they are problem solvers. Ensigns are knowledgeable about their jobs. They have positive attitudes about their jobs, but feel inhibited by the current limitations of their learning environment. They do not have the learning support for studying for the TM assessment other than creating their own flashcards. Current ensigns feel pressured to complete the TM assessment due to time constraints. Ensign's goal for SWOSDOC is to obtain certification and graduate. The ensigns perceive SWOSDOC as providing them with pertinent information that relates to their field of expertise in the Navy. Ensigns have a high perception of accountability because completion of the TM assessment will lead to their graduation and job security. And finally, ensigns perceive the course will assist them with their jobs, therefore they are more likely to transfer the knowledge to their jobs. The following is a timeline for the materials, the deliverables, and the items that A1ID Consultants delivered in this design plan. In addition, the statement of work is as follows. Upon completion, this project will provide SWOS with a user-friendly hypermedia training system dealing with fleets and aircraft of the USA and other major military forces. The lesson will operate on current computer systems at SWOS, personal ensigns computers, and the ensign's personal electronic devices. For example, Android cell phone or tablets, Apple cell phones, tablets, iPods, etc. SWOS project needed $15,000 for personnel to be paid to the instructional design team of A1ID Consultants. The materials were Articulate Storyline, which is a software that will be used to create and publish the user-friendly hypermedia training system for $1,398. They also needed the full version of the CD for the Fleets of Combat. It was $68.42, and this is the complete version of the Combat Fleets of the World. And the final expense consisted of overhead cost of $1,920. This fee is for the items that were used to complete the project that were currently at A1 ID Consultants that they have in their possession, like computers, internet, software, office space, etc. SWOS Seals is a user-friendly hypermedia training system that deals with the fleets and aircraft of the USA and other major military forces. Both the Internet and the Articulate mobile player are the platforms used to deliver this content. Ensigns can access SWOS Seals on the current computer systems at SWOS, on their personal computers or laptops, and on their own personal electronic devices, like Android, cell phone tablets, Apple cell phone tablets, iPods, etc. Internet access is used as the delivery platform when an ensign is using a computer, laptop, or an Android personal electronic device, and the Articulate mobile player is the delivery platform for the ensigns with personal electronic Apple devices, and this is an application that can be downloaded from the iTunes Store for free. The objectives for SWOS Seals all pertain to 90% accuracy. The ensigns must receive 90% accuracy or above in order to move on. The topics that include are they could be given a list of the acronyms and abbreviations from the threat matrix, and they need to be able to match the given acronym or abbreviation with its description. Given information from the threat matrix, they'll be able to match the basic ship type designators with its description. Given line drawings and or pictures of fleets and aircraft of the USA and other major military forces, the ensigns will be able to identify each. Given the information from the threat matrix, the ensigns will be able to identify the combat systems located on the different fleets and aircraft within the USA and other major military forces. Given the information from the threat matrix, the ensigns will be able to classify fleets and aircraft within the USA and other major military forces with its respective country location. Finally, given the information from the threat matrix, the ensigns will be able to identify the characteristics of the individual fleets and aircraft within the USA and other major military forces with 90% accuracy for all objectives, and be able to take the assessments more than one time. It could be taken with as many attempts as necessary. SWOS Seals is developed into two phases. In phase one, the ensigns will work in a self-paced interactive learning environment that has no time constraints. It can be accessed from anywhere and at any time. Each ensign will be required to complete phase one in an ascending order, starting at module 1 and ending with module 8. In addition, the ensigns will be assessed at the end of each module, and they will be provided with immediate feedback. The immediate feedback will consist of them receiving a score on the assessment, and then they will move on to and only on to the next module if they are successful and obtain at least a 90% on the assessment. Now I would like to introduce you to SWOS Seals. Currently you are looking at the home page that the ensign will view either through the internet or through their own personalized electronic devices. And if it's an Apple player, it will be Articulate mobile player. This is the exact home page for both delivery platforms. From the home screen, when the ensign clicks on the next button, they are taken to the table of contents, which shows you modules 1 through 8, as you can currently see on the screen. To start phase 1, the ensign must click on module 1 the first time that they are going through phase 1. When they click on phase 1, they are first taken to the USSR Kyiv. If an ensign clicks on the line drawings from the USSR Kyiv, you are currently taken to the presence page. It shows them an actual line drawing of the USSR Kyiv. You have just finished listening to the description of the design plan for SWOS Seals for SWOSDOC Navy Schools. This is from A1 ID Consultants, and tune in next time for our next instructional design unit.